Ladies and gentlemen, so far I have reviewed Vert Shock, Vert Code, the Flight System by Overtime Athletes, and Isaiah Rivera's vertical jump coaching with THP Strength. My name is Nathanael Morton, and I am a vertical jump coach myself. I have helped thousands and thousands of athletes increase the vertical, jump higher, and dunk a basketball, and I will help you by giving you a free bodyweight vertical jump training program if you simply comment jump down below in the comment section. And if you want my advanced weight training programs, I'll link that in the description. Today, I'll be reviewing the vertical jump program of the one-leg vertical jumping machine, Nick Briz, who jumps off of 1 foot and hits his snow hat on the rim. He won the majority of the votes on my community post, so let's get into it and let's get his program, and I will tell you if it is complete BS or if you should get it. Nick Briz Jump Program. Nick Briz's jump program. Nick's handpicked drills that he uses on a consistent basis to maximize his vertical jump. Learn my secret drills to maximize your athletic ability, and finally, after all these years, after trying Vert Shock 62 times with no results, finally see a big change in your vertical. And here he is down here. It's not a skier, it's not a snowboarder, it's not Frosty the Snowman, it is Nick Briz, the vertical jumping machine. Nick Briz's jump program, $67, the same price as Vert Shock. Remember, Vert Shock was $67. Overtime Athletes, the Flight System, was $134. Isaiah Rivera's coaching was $6,000 a month. I'm just kidding, it was $89 a month. Vert Code by PGF Performance, I think, was $85. And then Nick Briz's program is $67, the same price as Vert Shock. Let's hope it is better than Vert Shock. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my information, and I will see you in a second. All right, guys, so we got the program, and it says, welcome. Maximize the athletic talents that you already possess. So I might already be able to touch my snow hat on the rim. Module 1, Introduction. Increasing your vertical. Module 2, Bleacher Phase. Module 3, Court Phase. Module 4, Highlights. I'm a little bit confused. Let's watch this video and see if he can clarify.
There's 3 phases to this program. The first phase is going to be the working on the bleachers. The next phase is going to be working in the field, and the next phase is going to be working on the basketball court.
So, the first phase of his program is the bleacher phase. And I just thought that stood for something, but no, it is actually the bleacher phase. You need bleachers or you need stairs to complete this phase. What if it's snowing? Nick Briz, that must be why you always got a snow hat. I haven't even seen the exercises in this phase. They are probably good. But the one thing I'll say is you can't expect people to have bleachers or stairs. It's just like not everybody has access to that, so they're gonna be running up and down the stairs at their house. What if they live in a trailer? Let me just see what he has to say, and then we will decide.
So that's the very first one. Guys, the sets really is up to you.
The sets are up to you. He really said that. He said the sets are up to you. Just do as many as you can. Can I just say that Nick Briz looks like a really nice guy. But so far, yikes. He will dunk on me though, so I better quit hating. Well, all right, guys. In bleacher phase 1, you are running upstairs, and then you are running upstairs, skipping a step each time. Then you're doing single leg jumps, jumping up the stairs with 1 leg at a time. And then you were doing bunny hop jumps, jumping up the stairs with 2 feet at a time. And that is the conclusion of bleacher phase part 1. As many sets as you can. Okay? There ain't no sets and rep ranges. Just make sure that it's summer and then run up the stairs for as many sets as you can. I feel bad because this dude literally looks like the nicest dude on the planet. But $67? Like, you don't even have a program. This is not even a program. This is 3 videos. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 8 videos of what he does to increase his vertical. But hey, it worked for him. Maybe it'll work for you. And let's jump into phase 2, or bleacher phase part 2. And maybe this will just shock us all. Okay, so listen, I'm just gonna be dead honest because the people watching this probably know who Nick Briz is, and maybe at some point they would be looking to get his program, so I'm just gonna be completely honest with this review. It doesn't sound at all like, and I could be wrong, but it doesn't sound at all like Nick Briz knows what he's talking about. All that it sounds like is he tried some exercises, they worked for him, and now he's telling other people to do the same thing that he did because it worked for him. And there's nothing wrong with that, but for $67, and you're a popular dude, so you're getting money.
So when you go off your left leg, kick your right knee up in the air. When you go off your right leg, kick your left knee up in the air, all the way up and all the way down for each drill. You're resembling an explosive jumping movement. I'm not a jumping expert, guys. I'm just telling you what I think is best.
Okay, so he did just say, I am not a jumping expert. This is just what I did, and this is what I think is best. So he is saying that. He's not saying I got all the scientific research. He's saying this is what worked for me. So if you want to do it too, maybe if you do it, it will also work for you. That's all he's saying. All right, so that is it for the bleacher phase. And let's not get it wrong. Hit the exercises that he gave you, running up the bleachers with skipping a step, or if you have stairs at home. Bleachers are gonna be way better than stairs, let me say that. Bleachers will be way better than stairs. Skip a step of your stairs, you're barely doing anything. Okay, my grandma could do that. Skip a step in bleachers, it's gonna be a lot more of a jump, a lot more of a stretch. Okay, it's gonna be a lot harder than doing stairs. So, and then the one leg jumps up the stairs, and then the bunny hop 2-leg jumps up the stairs. Let's not get it wrong, these will all help you increase your vertical jump, but very similar to vert shock. There are no strengthening exercises so far, which he actually said he doesn't like strengthening. He feels like it makes you slower. But these exercises will, in fact, help you increase your vertical jump. We are moving on to the court phase, part 1. Let's see what he's got when we're at the basketball court. Okay, so for the court phase, I don't want to give away his entire program. If you want it, it is $67. So if you want the sets and the reps and everything like that, you are going to have to buy the program for $67. But essentially, you go to a court, you get a basketball, you get a medicine ball, you do some jumps off of your right leg, do some jumps off your left leg. He actually does tell you the sets and reps that you should do, but then he says jump off both legs. So essentially, you are doing a jump session. Everybody knows a jump session will help you increase your vertical jump, and you should practice all of the approaches just like he says. You need to be practicing off your left leg, off of your right leg, off of your left-right approach, and off of your right-left approach. So I do agree with that, but the only thing I will say is you told me about the bleacher phase, you told me about the court phase. I have no clue if I'm supposed to do these on the same day. I have no clue if I'm supposed to do the bleacher phase and then stop doing the bleacher phase and start doing the court phase. I have no clue about the actual scheduling of this program and these workouts. He basically said in the bleacher phase, do it as much as possible, give as much as possible as you can to this program, and then don't do it before you have a basketball game. That's literally all he said. And then the second thing that you're going to do is grab a medicine ball and do the same thing. You're going to jump off your left leg, then your right leg, and then both approaches with 2 legs. So that will help you increase your vertical jump, 100%. You are using weight with the medicine ball, and you are doing explosive jumps off of each approach. So I can actually see how this dude increases vertical jump, because everything that he is giving you so far are really good exercises to help you increase your vertical jump and get very explosive. But once again, he says he is against strengthening. I obviously am not against strengthening. I understand from a scientific standpoint that you cannot increase your vertical jump as high as possible unless you use weights. You can increase your vertical jump extremely high with body weight. You can get over a 40-inch vertical jump with body weight exercises alone. However, to increase your vertical jump as high as possible, to maximize your vertical jump, you need to press off of the ground, press into the ground harder and faster to get an equal and opposite reaction up into the air. So it's all about how much force you can apply into the ground, and you can apply more force if your legs are stronger. And your legs get stronger through using weights. Okay, you can get your legs stronger through using body weight, but obviously not as strong as you could if you were using weights. So part 2 of the court phase was medicine ball dunks or medicine ball layups. and basketball dunks or basketball layups. So more jumping. So listen, I feel like I'm trashing this guy right now, but all of these exercises will help you jump higher. He's just not very good at telling you the programming side of when you should do it. He does give you sets and reps for the court phase. Okay, so part 3 of the court phase was essentially some more one-leg dunks. So the whole court phase is basically a dunk session with a basketball and a medicine ball, okay? Which, like I keep saying, will help you increase your vertical jump. So far, we got some sprints up the bleachers, some one-leg jumps up the bleachers, some two-leg jumps up the bleachers, in a dunk session. And that is literally all the exercises that he's given you so far. But if you like Nick Briz and you want to jump like Nick Briz, he is telling you what he does. Do I think it's worth $67? No. I think like parts of it in here, like I made a criticism about Isaiah Rivera's coaching where I said we don't want to see a random girl or a random dude or a random video on YouTube giving us the exercise demonstrations. We want Isaiah Rivera or Connor Barth or even John Evans. We want the pro dunkers to show us what we should do in the exercise demonstrations. There's a part in here where he says, I don't have a partner, so just imagine what you would do if you had a partner. Listen, bro, you're charging people $67. Get a partner and redo this video. Like, come on. Module 4, ladies and gentlemen, is not any more exercises. It's not any more sets and reps. It's not any more bleachers. It's not a court. It is highlights. It is a basketball highlight of him dunking at LA Fitness. The next exercise is Nick Briz jumping over a Porsche. And the last exercise of this module is an amazing basketball dunk. Okay, guys. What are my conclusions? And where does the Nick Briz vertical jump program stack up against Vert Shock, against Vert Code, against the flight system, and against Isaiah Rivera's vertical jump coaching? I really am having trouble finding the words to say because it honestly irritates me a little bit. Look, he looks like a nice guy. Nick Briz seems like a good human being, but this is not worth $67. This is something that you try to sell to people on Instagram or a Facebook ad or even try to sell on YouTube for like $7, and then you try to upsell them for something better that is actually good. There's a total of like 7 exercises or 7 drills. They're not exercises. These are drills, which drills are a little bit better than exercises. But there's a total of 7 drills. The first set of drills, you don't even tell us the sets and the reps. You just say, do it as much as you can, okay? And don't do it before a basketball game. Don't get me wrong, as I've been saying this entire video, these exercises will literally take your vertical jump from here to here. If I did these exercises, being that I don't really do bleacher runs or I don't do hops up bleachers, they would probably increase my vertical jump a little bit. If you're a beginner, they're gonna 100% increase your vertical jump. If you do a lot of sprints and depth jumps and bounding, these aren't gonna increase your vertical jump as much as you want to. So I'm trying to think the order of the programming. I know the order of the programming from the top to the bottom, okay? You have Overtime Athletes, the flight school, in the top spot. Okay, the only reason I didn't put Isaiah Rivera's vertical jump coaching is because it was a week of coaching. I do think it will get you just as many results as Overtime Athletes, so we can put them both we can interchange them for first and second place. Okay, in third place, okay, is going to be Vert Code body weight because it's a body weight program, and as I said before, I think that you can get more results by using weights than you can by not using weights. If that wasn't the case, why would Isaiah Rivera and why would all of these people who have the highest vertical jumps in the world, why would they use weights? Nick Briz apparently doesn't use weights and he still has a crazy high vertical jump, okay? And it's off 1 foot, which if you're playing in a game against him, you're getting dunked on, all right? But so that's the order from there. Now we have Vert Shock and we have Nick Briz's program. I am so sorry to say, But I'm going to put Vert Shock in the 4th place spot. I'm gonna put Nick Briz at the bottom because that just wasn't good. I'm just gonna say it. And I have nothing against the guy, but it's $67 and literally it's 8 videos, 7 drills with no schedule, with no programming, with no progressions. But I do wanna say, I can see how Nick Briz increased his vertical jump, and I can see why he is such a good 1-foot jumper. Because at the end of the day, if you want to get better at jumping, you need to jump. And there's a lot of plyometrics, no strengthening, but a lot of plyometrics. There's a lot of sprinting up the stairs. There's a lot of jumps. There's jump technique. There is jump days. So let's not get it twisted. His program, which isn't really a program, but his videos, when you pay $67 for them, will help you increase your vertical jump. Okay, he tells you everything that he does and everything that helped him get his vertical jump. But, guys, that's all I have to say, okay? I'm done with this video.
Young visionary, and I don't know where I am. I'm running blindfolded, like I ain't got a plan. You either steady